So does it look like I am now wearing some form of advanced military night vision tech? Because it kind of feels like I am, but I'm not. This is called the Govis Art, and it promises a 110-inch cinema display that is strapped to the top of your head. And before you roll your eyes, and yes, I can see them if you are rolling them and you're thinking to yourself, is it just another VR headset or an AR headset? No, this is a HMD, which stands for a head-mounted display. It's one of the strangest and weirdest and one of the most unique sort of products I've tested. And in this video, I'm going to try to answer 3 very important questions. Number 1, what even is this product? Secondly, how does it work? And third, and probably most importantly, is it actually worth your money? So I think the simplest way to describe this headset is a portable screen that you wear on your face which follows your head's movements. But what makes it original is the fact that it doesn't fully cover your eyes and you can still see your surroundings around you. But when you do look inside, you see 2 micro LED screens, one for each eye. And Govis say it's like watching a 110-inch screen from about 4 meters away, which is kind of true. But also, if you're using it with things that are closer, then the screen seems closer as well. For instance, using it with my Macbook Pro, then the screen doesn't really seem much bigger than the MacBook Pro screen. And like I said just now, it's not a VR or an AR headset. There is no motion tracking, no spatial computing, you're not waving controllers around or doing strange hand gestures, and importantly, there's not even a battery. And there is no pass-through camera, so when the device isn't on, you just see a big black shape in front of your vision. But when you plug this into your device, a screen will appear in front of your eyes. The way it sits on your head is pretty normal, and that open design is what makes this product very unique. Having the ability to swing up and interact with the real world is very nice and useful, but also when it is down, and like I said, I could be looking at the screen, but I can see everything around the screen through my sort of peripheral vision. So it's kind of got best of both worlds, but also it's not fully immersive because it's not fully blacked out and I can still see the real world. So that open design does mean that the ambient light around us does also come into consideration. And this headset is nice and small and fairly lightweight, but strangely online they state that it weighs 110 grams. If we weigh the same thing at home, then it actually comes out at 240 grams, over double the weight than what they say. So it is still nice and lightweight, but not as light as what they originally said. And that's pretty much down to not having any form of internal battery. This style head strap is easily adjustable, and it does mean that most of the weight is fairly balanced, and it also means that there's no weight on our nose and cheeks like we do find on other headsets. But having pretty much all of the weight balanced up on this headband up here means that it will fully mess up our hair. And if you're like me and like to wear a hat, then this headset isn't going to work. But if you want to make this headset even more comfortable, then they do also make a zero pressure headband. And if we now weigh it with that zero pressure band, then the weight goes up to 360 grams. And wearing this thing does make it super comfortable, and you could actually wear it for a lot longer. The sponge is nice and spongy, but we can also take this off and add a non-slip on it as well. And you've probably already noticed, and it doesn't matter what strap you wear, we can still wear glasses with this headset. But overall, the build quality feels okay. Matte plastics, nice finish, but nothing too fancy. But I do like the fact that the hinge feels nice and secure. It also comes with 2 lens covers to protect these from dust and scratches. And the overall portability is great as well, as it does fold flat. And also comes with this soft drawstring carry bag, which we can store everything in. Setup is super simple. You plug it in via the USB-C to a compatible device like your laptop, tablet, phone, computer, and it should just show up as an external display. If your device doesn't have USB-C, then you could use a HDMI adapter, and they do offer this as an extra. And like I said just now, there is no internal battery, so it draws its power directly from what it's connected to, which does keep the headset light, but also means that your device's battery will drain a lot faster. But if you're using the HDMI adapter, then this will also have to be powered as well. Also, some USB-C devices won't actually deliver enough power to run the device, so you might need to get an adapter for this as well. For instance, to get my Nintendo Switch to work, I have to have the Switch in the dock, and then I need to use the HDMI cable into the HDMI adapter, which then converts it from HDMI to USB-C into the actual headset. but because it doesn't take enough power to run the headset, I also need to power the adapter as well. And if you're wondering, can you just plug in the headset directly into the USB-C port on the Switch? Then the answer is no, because the Switch needs to pretend that it's in dock mode. That's why we need to use it in a dock and use the HDMI adapter. Or we need to use a USB-C adapter, which also gives the Switch power, which then tricks the Switch into thinking that it's in dock mode and then give a signal back out to the actual headset. So it's not as simple and as portable as you might originally think. You will need to have a HDMI adapter or a USB-C adapter to actually use it with a Switch. But the good thing about this headset is that there is no software to install. There's no pairing, no drivers, no learning gestures. We just have to plug it in. When using it with a laptop or a computer, we can set it up as a separate display, but if you're using it with other devices like a phone or console, then it will just mirror the display. So connecting it to most of the devices is pretty straightforward, especially if it's USB-C, for instance, like your phone. You just plug it in and this works as a separate screen for my phone. Things that are nice and close to you, easy. When you're using things like the HDMI adapter, splitting the power and stuff gets a little bit more confusing, but also things that are further away from you gets more complicated as well. For instance, in your lounge, if you're sat on your sofa and you've got your Xbox on your big TV, then you will have to go and buy like a 5-meter length of HDMI cable. So the further the device away is from you, the bigger the cable you actually need. But if you just want to use the headset to watch TV and stream content, then they do make another add-on, which is this portable Android TV dongle that sits in a portable battery pack, and then you even get a proper remote as well, so it does feel like you're using a proper TV. But what's really cool about that Android TV dongle is the fact that it is a standalone thing, that it isn't just made for this headset. All of your streaming services are going to be already logged in. It's 4K, HDR and stuff as well. Plug it into a TV and all of your stuff's on it. You don't actually need to use it with the headset. But jumping back into the headset, inside we get two 60Hz 1920 by 1080 micro OLED panels. And these are really sharp, almost 5000 ppi, 55 ppd and 100,000 to 1 contrast ratio. Altogether, this gives the image deep blacks and vibrant colours. And it is obviously super difficult to properly film these screens and give them the justice they deserve. In person, they do look super sharp, super crisp, and you cannot even see a single pixel. But they are only 60Hz, which is fine for everyday use like watching films and doing computer work, but don't expect buttery smooth 120Hz for your gaming sessions. That said, latency is impressively low, under 0.01 milliseconds, so perfect for watching and casual gaming. Also, which is really cool, is the fact that you can watch 3D content on these. All you have to do is flick the switch on the top right of the headset. Streaming services like Netflix, Prime, Disney doesn't support it. And unfortunately, this switch doesn't convert normal 2D content into 3D. You do need to have specific 3D content. But the example footage I found online is super impressive. I was genuinely really impressed. This headset is super versatile. You can tweak the IPD from 58mm to 74, and each eye does have its own diopter adjustment from 0 to -3.5. All of that basically means that these are just super adjustable, and we should be able to customize it to our exact wants and needs. And if you've got glasses, you can still wear glasses underneath, but also if your eyes fall in the range of 0 to -3.5, then you can actually adjust these to get the right focus, so you don't actually have to wear glasses if you don't want to. Comfort wise, for me, anything over 40 to 60 minutes, I can start to feel a bit of pressure on my forehead. But it does feel better than most other headsets, as these don't actually touch your face, so your face doesn't really get hot and sweaty. So that is a good thing about having that open design, but also it does come with some cons as well. Basically, you've just got a giant screen or black void right in the center of your vision, which can feel a little bit disorientating. So having this screen locked to my head's position means that it's always going to be following exactly what my head does, which is kind of fine if you're pretty stationary. But if you're like walking with it, or if you want to use this in a car or on a train, for instance, if you're traveling, then any form of micro jitter, then that screen is just going to be jittering and moving around like crazy. And I have been using this for quite some time now, and I have noticed that after a while of using it, that I just want the actual headset or the screens to be a little bit closer to my actual eyeballs. The A hinge is really nice that we can spin it up and bring it down, but I feel like there needs to be another hinge up here so I can actually take it closer to my eyes or further away from my eyes to have this sort of flexibility as well. Because where it sits, if I get it too nice and crisp and sharp on the very top, then I find that the bottom is a little bit blurry. It's just positioned a little bit too far off of our actual eyes to be really comfortable and see all four corners nice and comfortably. So this headset does have some built-in speakers, but overall these things just sound very tinny with no mids or lows. But at least there are some built-in speakers.
What are you?
Luckily though, there is a 3.5mm headphone jack built in, or we could just use our Bluetooth headphones that are probably already linked to our device. So let's now try to answer that third and final question. Is it actually worth your money? Well, it's a decent image quality, but it is only HD at 60Hz. It's plug and play and works with a ton of different devices, but also you probably need to get lots of different adapters and different cables at different lengths to make it work with all those different devices. It's easily adjustable and you can use it with different glasses, but the speakers sound like crap and there is quite a lot of light leak that comes into it. The open design is really good because you can kind of look around and see your surroundings, but having it strapped to your head means that it does fully shake around when your head moves. It's not super immersive, distracting, and kind of does feel a little bit disorientating, but the compact and portable and comfy design is a really good thing. But also I do think for what you get, it is pretty pricey. I feel like this is one of those products that's just very unique and niche, and I'm not sure who really needs it. For me, I feel like it's just a bit too pricey for what is essentially a HD screen that just sits in front of your eyes. But that being said, I'm really pleased that Govis have tried to make a unique and original product. Having the ability to take an external display with you wherever you go is a really cool concept. I see the positives of being able to see your surroundings with this open design, but I feel like to get the most out of it, you do just have to keep your head perfectly still, which kind of defeats the object of being able to see your surroundings. Okay, and there we have it. And now it is your turn. I want you to let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of this HMD, this head-mounted device? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. I really hope you have found this video interesting and informative. If you have, a like would be really appreciated. And if you're not already, a subscribe would be amazing as well, as it really does help out on small channels like mine. And I can't wait to see you here again soon. Ka-chunk.